Okay, hear me out. These could be the most forgiving irons I've ever seen. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson and welcome back to this YouTube channel. Today I have the XXIO 14 series irons. Now these are rather expensive, but they look, once you can get into them, rather fantastic. So I've seen reviews of these online and I'm very lucky to get my hands on them. Today we're going to test them and see just how forgiving they could actually be. $239 per club graphite, or they'll do you a deal at $1,200 for a 5 set. So make of that what you will, but today we're going to put them through the paces. We're going to test them for some numbers, we're going to look at the ball flights, and we're going to see just how good they really are. We're going to turn the camera off and get the wrapper off because this could take a while though. So I know what you're all thinking, why are these clubs so expensive? And James, you said you were going to take all the wrapper off first, but we forgot to take the wrapper off the 5-iron. Basically, XXIO have taken a lot of weight away from the head and put it lower in the face. So that means it should be a little bit more effortless to use. You can see just how, that looks incredible, doesn't it? I've never seen a face look like that before. You can see how that's kind of inserted in there. So these should be very powerful. I'd be worried you might lose a bit of feel, but we're going to test that today. We've got very light shafts in here. We've got 48 gram shafts, loads of offset on here. That actually, if you miss the ball right, that looks like an absolute godsend. So we'll hit some 5-irons to start with, see just how good they can be. It's a huge profile behind this. Now that was exceptionally towy. I've almost missed the grooves on that one. I'd be interested to see what kind of numbers we do generate with that. Obviously these are designed to be very forgiving, but we've hit it 190 yards, I've nearly missed the face. Look at that. That's outrageous. 170 carry, not the best carry, 4-1 spin because of the bad strike, and a 190 total. So I think this could be a very interesting video for golfers who maybe don't have the speed that they once had, maybe don't have the skill level that they once had, and just want to make golf that bit easier. Obviously, you need to have money. That's one thing which we need to have. But let's try and get one out of the middle, because I reckon we could almost get a carry of 200 with this 5-iron if we get this right. Right, that was a much better one. You can see how high that's actually gone on the ball flight, and that felt really good. You can kind of see the visual tech in here. There's the kind of L cup that's designed to help us again generate more ball speed, and of course distance. 206 that time. It's not going to roll too far either. 202. Spinning at 5.2, that's an absolute beautiful number for anybody who wants a nice set of irons that can be nice and controlled, but obviously a power iron as well. Now these don't feel amazingly soft. They're never going to do with the amount of technology in them, but they do, I think, bag appeal wise, there's certainly something there, but there has to be for that price. I was looking online and you're potentially paying even more really than that kind of $1,200 for a 5-iron set. Right, can we flight it down and get it chasing a bit with this 5-iron? That's an absolute bullet, by the way. This whole XXIO 14 range that we've got to test this week, it's surprised me in a way that you can play it and you do get the workability. We know the design's to be forgiving. We've tested the driver. I struggle with that a little bit, but if you hit the driver to the right, it could be the perfect driver for you. We've tested the 9 wood, which I think is an outrageous club, but again, it's kind of $450, $500. And we've tested the 5-iron there. It's another 193-yard shot, again with a nice low ball flight. You've seen the 3 different flights that we've had with this. So far, are they as good or better than anything else on the market? Because for the price, really, that's the target that we're after. So let's cut to the chase a little bit. Who are these irons designed for? Who's the demographic and who's buying them? Because they are a branch of Srixon, they're a branch of Dunlop, but they are the higher end, the kind of more monetary value. I see a lot of these clubs in Asia. When we're in Singapore, there was XXIO pretty much everywhere, and they're absolutely huge. Bob, don't let that trap get you. That's like a mole trap, that. Honestly, have you seen it? Right, you're okay. So it depends who you're playing with. It depends what style of golfer you are, but it also depends on how much forgiveness you want and really how much technology you want in your irons, because there's a lot of tech in here, but for that money, would you just get a set of TaylorMades or a set of Callaways? Get in the comments below and let us know. Right, so consistency-wise, rather ridiculous. We have two within kind of, well, an arm's width of each other, you could say, if you guys, Mr. Long Arms. But then the final one we hit, the longer one, it has gone, yeah, a little bit lower. It has chased out a bit, so very impressive. Let's test the 7-iron and the gap wedge and see what kind of numbers we're getting, because I would anticipate the 7-iron might be close to the 5-iron, which would be a problem. But if you're slower swing speed, that would kind of edge out quite nicely. Right. Should we go from here, Bob? Right, so now Bob's finally got the camera going. It's going, yeah. 7-iron. I would hope for like, to be honest, I'd hope for like a 170, 175 carry. They're quite strong lofters, as you would imagine, but the tech is allowing the ball to get up in the air. So, lots of offset. I'm going to allow for a bit of draw into this flag. Really, really big profile on this head. Wow. That felt incredible. I did not anticipate that to feel or sound that good. Are you laughing at my wow? Wow. Right, 185 total. 181 carry. Spinning at 6'8". That's really impressive. And that's the kind of thing I'm looking for, because what I don't want to see here is XXIO make a club that, yeah, goes a long way, but the 7-iron is launching like that and spinning at 3,000 or something stupid. It didn't actually move in either off the lie or off the offset. So let's try and get a similar one. Bob, are you hearing these? They sound as good as anything I've tested. Like, I'm surprised because the 5-iron, I was on the fence with the feel and the sound, but that 192 total. Apex in at 87, so plenty high enough. You want that about 90 really. 187 carry.
Jeez.
Yeah, but you see the spin's dropped a bit there, so that's why we've got the extra distance. That's almost done what I said I didn't want it to do. But that's okay, because again, is it the shaft? Is it the club? There's a plus series of these as well, so if you're a bit of a higher swing speed, they could be the ones for you. So let's try and hit a consistent one again. So let's try and get around a kind of 185, 190, which is a long way for a 7-iron for me. That's the best one I've hit. What I really like about that is it's launching and then it's actually fading a little bit. So just because we've got this big clunky potential head and just because we've got this amount of offset, what do you reckon? I like this game where we asked Bob what it's gone.
What total carry?
Carry.
Carry 185.
191. Spin better though at 6'5", so it's a 195 total, and I think that's really impressive. Like, if you want a club that goes a long way and is very, very forgiving, we hit the 5-iron like a bit of a dog off the tee and still got it like 200 odd yards. We hit the 7-iron good and we get it 195. So, interesting so far. Now this one could be the party piece. This is the A wedge, and look how wide that sole is. So we've got thicker tungsten in here as well, or kind of denser tungsten, should we say, again, to bring that weight down in this head to make them easier to launch. But Bob, look at that for a face. I think that's incredible looking. For anyone who wants like forgiveness, that looks like, it's like a big circle. Yeah. If you get down the ball on this, you'll not believe what that actually looks like. So if you are wanting that bit of help, I think these could be a good option. Like I said, they're expensive. I think probably too expensive. Would I spend the money on them? I think there's other options where you could go and get fitted. But we're about 100 yards out, so let's see what the A wedge does give us. We're in the rough as well, which I think is where we want to be testing it. Look at that drawing in, Bob. Is that going to spin and get close to the flag as well? What have we got there? That, it's gone miles. I did think it'd flown the green, I didn't see it. 130.
Oh my God.
So there, 129 carry, it's just low spin out of the rough, it's moist rough, and the club obviously is designed to go a long way, but they're pitching wedge numbers really. I think the spin rates struggled, that could be down to the monitor as well, being in the rough, but like I said, it's nice to test them. The strike was phenomenal. I love this as a sole. We'll test this around the greens to finish, because if you struggle around the greens, it could be the club for you. It sounds good. Should be a bit better. 120, that's more acceptable really. Apex at 98. Carry 117, spinning at 7. So out the rough, that's pretty good. So if we start thinking about consistency, that consistency is the big thing. And obviously this shaft isn't designed for me. And the guys at XXIO said, James, could you put these in the hands of somebody with a lower swing speed to test? And we are going to do that because I feel like these could, like I said, be an option for people, be a good option. Can we just hit that 100-yard shot out the rough? Just saw it off a bit. That is that 100-yard. I mean, turf interaction wise, we are going to put these back, by the way, but Bob, come and have a look at, like, it just glides through the turf effortlessly. Oh, what do you think we have?
That was 110.
Yeah, 114. 114, but still spinning at around 7, so like not the end of the world. Let's test it around the greens. Guys, get in the comments below. Do you think these are worth the bang for the buck? Because that's always going to be the big question with anything that is at this price point. If you're still here, please comment below and let me know, because I like to know what people are interested in the most. So, I think initially, my first take on this is a good set of clubs, quite high price point as we've said, but I have quite enjoyed the feedback I've got from them, the numbers we've got from them, and the feel on them, apart from how we hit the 5-iron. Now, could this be a saver for people around the greens? Because this is where a lot of people may well struggle. This is where a lot of golfers don't really know what wedge to have in the bag. So having an A wedge, which is a gap wedge for all intents and purposes, with the wide sole, can really, really help generate strike. I actually caught that one a little bit heavy and the sole has dramatically saved me. Even that one, that was a duff, that, Bob. The one thing I'll say is the leading edge is a little bit sharp. Yeah, and you wouldn't really anticipate that for this style of club, because it almost digs, but then the sole saves you. So as long as you've got speed, that's me trying to just release the club onto it properly. As long as you've got the speed, the club will work for you like that. So realistically, I think it's an okay set of clubs. I think for the price, you would want to make sure you get the correct specs. But for distance, they go an astronomical long way. And I think for anyone who's got that lower swing speed, we will test these in the new year with someone with that slower swing speed. We'll get Gaz in to have a go. But realistically, are they a bit of a game changer? You tell me, guys. And apart from that, we'll see you all at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.